Hi guys, so we're gonna start off this cut crease half smoky eye look with my Anastasia Beverly Hills dip brow in the shade dark brown, and I'm just using a angled brush which I got from Coastal Scents, and I'm just gonna outline my brows and fill it in. Don't mind those pimples because this video was filmed about a month ago, so I no longer have those. Alright, so I'm just going to fill in my brow and then brush in the product so it doesn't look super harsh. Then I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro HD Concealer in the shade Fawn and clean up my brows. This is optional. If you're not into adding concealer under your brows, you don't have to do it. Do what makes you feel comfortable and what looks best to you, okay? But me, I like to clean up my brows when I fill them in, especially if I'm doing a full face look. I'm going to use a concealer brush, and this one is from Makeup Forever. It's such a gorgeous brush, and I'm just going to use that to blend that out. Then I'm going to go in with my LA Girl foundation in the shade Warm Caramel and use this above my brow to clean it up and to also thin it out a bit, because sometimes when I fill in my brows I can make them thicker than they actually are and just clean that up a bit. Now I'm going to add some of that concealer to my lid area, mostly in the crease and tear duct area, and just blend this out. Then I'm going to go in with my Makeup Addiction palette. This is their Flaming Love palette, and the first shade I'm going to use is that reddish brick shade. And I'm just going to use my beautiful Sigma blending brush, which I've had for about 3 to 4 years maybe, and just blend this out into my transition area. Then I'm going to go in with this other kind of transition color. This one's more on the reddish, maybe pinkish tone, and apply that into my crease and just blend it up into that brick colored shade. For cutting my crease, I'm going to be using my concealer. You can use a paint pot, you can use your eyeshadow primer, whatever it is that you like, but I'm not going to cut it all the way. I'm going to do it 1/3 of the way and leave the rest. And, you know, not kind of leave it to a sharp point, kind of leave it a little uneven, so that way once you start blending in and smoking out that part, it's not super harsh. Now I'm going to go in with this beautiful shell tone color and apply this to the inner part of the cut crease. Then I'm going to go in with this rose gold shade and apply this to the center part of my lid and blend in those two colors together. You're kind of meshing them together. Now I'm gonna go in with that same reddish pinky tone transition color and smoking out my outer V area. Then I'm gonna go in with this beautiful dark chocolate shade and add this into my crease on outer V, but not bringing it in too much, just blending it in slightly just to give it a smoky and transitioned look. Now using my e.l.f. glitter primer, I actually found some of these in Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 2 glitters from LaSplash. One is called Renaissance, which is the first one that I'm applying, and I basically put on my glitter primer first and then just pat on the glitter. And the next glitter I'm going to use is called Golden Tangerine, which is a beautiful orangey red glitter with hints of gold in it. It's such a gorgeous glitter, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and pat this on top of that rose gold shadow that we used to transition the shell colored shadow. And this is just going to give us a transitioned look of the 2 glitters, so it doesn't look, you know, sharp and it starts in one place and stops in one place, okay? For a liner, I'm using my favorite liquid liner. This is from NYC, and this is their black liquid liner, which I found out that they're going to be discontinuing it. I think I've used this in 90% of my tutorials, and honestly is a little bit heartbreaking because it's such a great liner. It's super affordable, and I don't know why they would do such a horrible thing. Now going in with my superhero mascara from IT, I'm just gonna go ahead, put on some mascara and put on my new favorite lashes from Pure. These are in the style Flirt. I'm just gonna pop those on. I love the look of these. They look natural but yet give you volume, and they just are very comfortable and lightweight on the eyes. Now I'm gonna go in with that orangey brick color and apply this underneath my lower lashes with a detailer brush and just smoke this out. You don't want it to be too harsh. I also primed underneath my lower lashes. Then I'm gonna go in with a small angle brush and apply the shade Blackberry. It's a Coastal Scents Hot Pot eyeshadow, and just apply this right underneath my lashes. This is just to keep my lashes, or make my lashes appear fuller. I'm also gonna apply some of that Blackberry shade to my crease area to deepen it up, and I'm using a crease brush to do that. I got this brush from Sigma, and then I'm gonna go in with a blending brush from Coastal Scents and just blend out those 2 colors together a bit. I'm going to add a bit of that shell colored shade to my tear duct area to connect those 2 areas, and I'm also going to add a bit of the Renaissance glitter to my tear duct area just to make it pop a bit more, and I'm going to add some mascara to my lower lashes. I'm using the same mascara from It Cosmetics, their superhero formula, which made my bottom lashes look really cool, so loving it so far. And that is it for the eye look, you guys. I hope you like it. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the face. I'm going to use my Smashbox primer water just to spray my face and prime it, get it ready for foundation. And I'm using my LA Girl foundation in the shade Warm Caramel, and I'm using a damp beauty sponge. This is a Real Technique sponge, and I'm just going to blend this out all over my face. I do like the Real Technique beauty sponges, but I've mentioned before, you know, when you buy them, you can definitely get a hit or miss. You can get some that feel great, some that have weird rough textures, some that don't even expand once you wet them, or some that just don't absorb water. So it's definitely a hit or miss sometimes, but when you find a good one, it's definitely a keeper. I'm also going to use my Smashbox correcting crayon in orange and apply this around my mouth area, and then blend it out and go over it with a bit of my foundation. This is just to help discoloration, hyperpigmentation. I'm also going to set that area using my L'Oreal Pro Matte Powder. I believe this one is in the shade Soft Sable, but I could be mistaken. I'll put the correct name of it down below in the description box. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my Cupid's bow, my under eye area, bridge part of my nose with my LA Girl Pro HD Concealer in the shade Fawn, and just blend this out using my beauty sponge. And you know, this is just going to give me a nice, smooth, blended out look without it looking super harsh. You can definitely use a brush, but when I do use a brush to blend out under eye concealer or put on foundation, I like to use a tapping motion instead of a stroking motion. That way you create, you know, like streaks on your face. When you pat it, you get more of an airbrushed look. For contouring, I'm using my OPV contouring palette, and I'm just going to mix those two colors together, and I'm using a synthetic angled brush to add my contour, which is basically going to bring the shapes back to my face and give my face some dimension, because when you put on foundation, it does take away, you know, the dimensions of your face. It makes it all look like one thing and like you have on this weird mask. So with light contouring, even with dramatic contouring, you definitely can see the shapes of your face. I'm also going to use whatever product is left on that angled brush to contour my nose and bring the shape back into my nose, and, you know, make it look like it's its own thing, not like, you know, invisible, and blend it in with the foundation. I'm also going to use a bit of my L'Oreal Pro Matte Powder in the shade Cocoa, and I'm going to use this straight brush that I got from Coastal Scents last year at their Black Friday sale, and just define my nose contour just a bit more without it looking too harsh. I'm going to use a bit of my Ben Nye Neutral Set Powder to set under my eye, my nose bridge, my chin, and forehead. Then I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Pro Matte Powder in the shade Cocoa and the same angle brush just to deepen up my contour. This is also going to help set it in place since I used the cream contour. I'll go over it with a powder, and this is just going to help set it in place, but keep it from looking like super cakey and unnatural, okay? I'm sorry, you guys. I keep looking over because I was actually watching a show while I film. This kind of helps make the time go by faster. Don't judge me. But for lips, I'm using my OFRA liquid lipstick in the shade Americano. I like this formula for this shade better than I do the Venice shade. The Venice orangey shade is a beautiful color, but I do not like the formula of that color from OFRA. I like this formula much better on the Americano. Maybe it's the pigment, I don't know what it is, but it works out better. It's almost like a orangey brick colored lip color, almost. All right, so I'm just gonna apply that to the lips as perfect as I can. With liquid lipstick, you wanna, you know, take your time and apply it. You don't want to put on a whole bunch at one time because it will make a big mess, okay? To clean it up, I'm going to use a bit of my foundation and my concealer brush, and this is just going to make it look a bit sharper if you're into having your lip color stand out a bit more and look a bit more neat. Alright, so I'm just going to blend that out. Then I'm going to go over that with a bit of powder to just set it in place. I'm gonna add a bit more mascara to my lower lashes because when I added the powder, some of the powder went on my lower lash and kind of gave it this weird dusty look, which it wasn't cute. And I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite blushes. It's from e.l.f. It's called Blushing Rose, and I'm just gonna apply that to my cheeks. You don't have to put a lot of it on for you to see the color. Then I'm gonna go in and highlight my cheekbone area using this loose powder pigment highlight from Makeup Addiction. This one is in the shade Orgasmic, and I'm just using my blending brush to apply this. This kind of gives me more control over the highlight and makes it blend out a bit better for me personally. I'm gonna add a bit more of that brick shade underneath my lower lashes just to smoke it out, and then just set my entire face with my Makeup Forever setting spray, which I love to death, and just pop on a wig. So this is your final look. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so you don't miss any uploads, and I'll see you guys all in a new video very soon. Bye guys.